That was a lot better.
Yeah. And then whoosh, transition to somewhere else, and we're actually done here, I think.
Whoosh transition.
Yo, what's up? And welcome to the Austrian Alps. We're currently shooting season 2 of a web series for one of our clients. And I thought it'll be pretty cool to show you an exclusive behind the scenes look of the equipment that we use, what we shoot, whom we're shooting it for, the time lapses, the drone shots, the challenges that we're facing, all of it. If you're interested in that, more on that after the intro. My name is Damien Cooper and welcome to Monkey Pixel. So first of all, let me tell you whom we are shooting this for. Our client is called PokerCode, and PokerCode is a poker coaching site dedicated to help poker players improve their game. And they, on a regular basis, hold these boot camps, and this is one of them. 2 weeks, 8 players, 1 house. And there's different kind of strategies. They'll be talking strategy, and I'm talking about the poker strategy itself with their mathematics and the different kind of tools, but also nutrition as well as fitness and just mindset and improvements in general. Basically, we're shooting 8 episodes, following these poker players around, tracking their progress, and just trying to make a web series so people can follow along on the internet as well. The majority of this project is me following the players with a handheld camera documentary style, but we also capture some interviews of the players, and obviously there's drone shots and time lapses just to fill in the gaps. In total, we have 15 production days in 2 different countries, because we start here in the Austrian Alps where everybody is in one place and everybody is coaching as well as playing poker, doing nutrition as well as fitness. But then later on we're going to another country where they're all going to play some live poker, and we will join them and document the whole thing as well. And now let me tell you about the equipment that we're using. As I've already mentioned, 90% of this is me shooting handheld, and for this I chose the Canon C70 and my new Canon C70 rig. And if you're interested in my full Canon C70 rig tour, I will link that video up here that I recently uploaded on the channel. Why did I choose the Canon C70? Because it combines everything that I need. I'm using the Canon C70 with a speed booster because it gives me the perfect run and gun solution with a 7-inch screen, so even when shooting in bright sunlight as we are doing right now, I can still manual focus. I have a good audio solution, I have 100 frames if I need to, and it has a lot of dynamic range with great media that isn't too big. And if you want to see a full detailed video about why I chose the Canon C70 over my Canon C300 Mark III for this job, because the first season of this entire thing we shot on a Canon C300 Mark III handheld, but now I chose the Canon C70 for various reasons. I also recently uploaded a full detailed video about my reasoning of choosing the Canon C70 over the Canon C300 Mark III, and I also will link this one up here, so check that one out if you're interested in why I did that. As I've already mentioned, I shoot most of it handheld with the C70, but for some smooth B-roll shots as well as establishing shots of the location, I do use a gimbal from time to time. And my all-time favorite here is the DJI RS2 with the Tilta ring setup. I've already done a full review on this, but just let me tell you, with the C70, it's so quick and easy to go from handheld to gimbal and back to tripod and vice versa. And this is crucial for a job like this to get really smooth footage, but you don't have to take a lot of time to switch from handheld shooting to gimbal shooting. And overall, this setup has been very, very useful. Although this web series is me shooting handheld for about 90% of the times, we still need to capture some interviews of all of our participants. And for this, we transformed this bedroom into our small makeshift studio. As our main camera, we're using the Canon C300 Mark III, which just sits there on a tripod for the recording of all of the interviews. As our main key light, we're using the Godox VL300 with a 120cm parabolic softbox, and that one gives off a really nice key light for all of our interviewees. To get a little bit more depth, we are also using a Godox ML60 with a softbox and a grid in the background, just to separate our interviewees from the background a little bit more, and that one works very well because it's small and lightweight. To make this scene a little bit more interesting, we are also using a practical right here in the background, just to give the whole scene a little bit more of an orange tone and a little bit more color contrast. To further the color contrast even more, we're also using a P200 light set to teal, just to get even more contrast into our shot, and I think it gives off a really cool mood. As for capturing audio, we are using the Daily Mic 2S that is sitting on a light stand and a boom pole, and that one is going directly into the Canon C300 Mark III via an XLR cable. So this is our makeshift studio. I think that it's actually working pretty well, and I will link all of the stuff that we're using in here down in the description below for you to check out. As I'm in charge of the shooting only, somebody needs to edit all these episodes, and that somebody is Belle. So we set up a small temporary editing bay here in our room. I brought my 27-inch iMac just to edit all these time lapses, and Belle brought her M1 MacBook Pro just to edit all of these episodes. And I think it's crucial for her to be here instead of working remote, because that way we can have exchanges about the episodes, shots she still needs. It's also way easier to just give her the footage instead of uploading it every night or transferring it via courier. So it's cool to have her here, and that actually made the whole process of editing and shooting a lot easier. Speaking of editing, now that we're back in Vienna, we still need to finish the rest of all these episodes. And this is a great time to talk about today's sponsor, Epidemic Sound, because you can't pull off a big project like this without great music and great sound effects. And for this, we're using Epidemic Sound. So we reached out to our client in advance and asked them if they could get a subscription for all of their social media channels as well. So now we are free to use Epidemic Sound for this project too. But since I'm not editing any of this, let's actually hear it from Belle why she prefers Epidemic Sound over all of the other music subscriptions.
So I like to use Epidemic Sound for multiple reasons. First of all, they have a huge library of sound effects, so you would find whatever you need. Secondly, if you go on the page, usually in 60 seconds, I find a track that I like and that I will use. And thirdly, if I have certain emotions in an episode, like funny scene or something very nervous, frantic, then it's all there and you can find it in a matter of seconds.
So since this is a project that is a rather fast turnaround and Belle is doing a great job of conveying all the emotions in this web series through music and sound effects, it's great that you have a huge library that is also including sound effects, so she doesn't have to go to different kind of stops to find all of the assets that she needs, and she has a one-stop for all solution.
We hope it's going to be 11 days of sunshine, and that's the strategy.
The great thing about Epidemic Sound is that you have different subscription models. One is perfect for Monkey Pixels as a YouTube channel, because this one tailors perfectly to social media creators that have different kind of channels, Instagram, Facebook, or as we do, our main YouTube channel. Because this subscription allows us to use the entire library, including the sound effects, for all of our channels. And this is the one that we are using for the entire YouTube channel, and it only costs you $10 a month. But then if you also, like us, a video production company that tailors to a lot of different clients, then you need a commercial license. And this one costs $25 a month. And here you can use their entire library, but not only for your own channels, but also for all of your client work. If you shoot an ad, an online campaign, or a music video really makes no sense because they have their own music. So let's say a wedding or whatever you want to do, then this license actually has you covered. So with these two different models, you can use the entire library for whatever you need. And at $25 a month, which equates to $300 a month, that really is nothing, because then you have an entire library just for whatever you want to use at an affordable price. And if you use our link down in the description below, you get 1 month for free. Another vital part of shooting a web series like this is drone shots, because drone shots are the perfect way to showcase the location you're in and also get some cool scenes to transition from one scene to the next. And overall, the location here in the Austrian Alps is just way too good to pass on to not shoot some cool drone shots. The drone that I'm currently using is the DJI Mavic Pro 2, and I think this is the perfect compromise of small size and high quality images. And I really do like it for all of my shots when shooting my establishing shots as well as some hyperlapses. And you can get some great results out of this really small drone. An essential part of a web series that spans over the course of 2 weeks is time lapses. I shot a lot of these time lapses. Day, night, day to night, night to day, you name it. Because we always need them to transition from one day to the next, or just to fill in some gaps and just basically get a sense of the location we're in. And for this, I'm using my EOS R5. There's different versions of shooting time lapses, and I kind of need to find a mixture of a high production quality but also a fast turnaround, because we don't really have that much time in between of the shooting and the editing. So I choose to use the internal intervalometer, but I'm not choosing to really do the LR time-lapse workaround, and I'll be just using the regular workaround that I'm using for most of my time lapses. And if you're interested in that, I will link that one up here, because I have a full tutorial on how I shoot time lapses up on the channel already. And overall, time lapses are a big thing when it comes to these kind of web series. And I shot some really great bangers here, not gonna lie, because the scenery is so great. We had some night lapses where we could see all the stars, the Milky Way, and overall, I'm really happy how most of our time lapses turned out. After 2 weeks in the Austrian Alps, we finally arrived in Bratislava, the Slovakian capital. And this is where all of our players will participate in a live poker tournament. But not only did we film them play poker, but also do some other fun activities like a soccer tournament, a pub quiz, or just exploring the beautiful city of Bratislava. The second part of this project was even more run and gun, so I stripped down our equipment and left most of our stuff at home, so we just brought the most necessary stuff to run around the city and be more flexible. And this right here is the final interview setup we set up here in the casino where all these players are playing. We left the big light at home and just brought our flex light, and I already did a full review on that one, and this is pretty cool because it's really small, versatile and lightweight. Unfortunately, I did mess up the audio and I brought the wrong adapter from mini XLR to big XLR. So we had to improvise again. Luckily for us, the Rode Video NTG that I was using has a USB-C port, so I'm actually recording directly into my MacBook, because otherwise I couldn't record audio because we didn't bring any external recorders, and we planned to directly record into our C70, but unfortunately that didn't work. Overall, this was a really fun project. I made some really cool connections and I really did like the setup that we bring. I unfortunately had one thing on my Canon C70 rig that I really didn't like, and I will switch out immediately for the next project, but I will do a full video on that one, so subscribe if you want to see that one as well. If you like this full behind the scenes of this project and more to come, because the same client hired us for an even bigger project in Las Vegas next week, make sure to hit the thumbs up because it really helps the channel grow. Subscribe to our channel for more, and I hope to see you on the next one.